go. And time now for the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Look at this. Front court scoring in this half, 29-3. Get complete tournament coverage at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Check the second half numbers for Capono and Barnes for UCLA.
And that's the big difference. All of a sudden, they're in the flow. A concern for Cincinnati now in that UCLA's in the open floor, getting some easier baskets. The defense has to be dominant for Cincinnati. That's their trademark. That's how they take you out of games.
And one other little statistical note. Remember that offensive rebounding edge for the Bearcats in the first half. UCLA has 5 offensive boards to 3 in this half. Oh, Capono should have shot.
Shoot.
Absolutely. Logan, a pump, a jump.
And over the top. Down the other way, I think Little. Jason Capono, they run the post up. You know, they've done some nice things out of a timeout. You know, whether it's Barnes in the low post, the alley-oop, or that time Capono got Jurek on occasion, but the consistency isn't there. They'll come down on occasion and then take the long jumper for Steve, and all of a sudden they're going the other way.
That's the 7th team foul on Cincinnati, so Gadzuric goes to the line shooting 1-1. And he also not a proficient free throw shooter, 47% for the year.
A little praying on the sideline and a just never looks comfortable.
Nope.
I think when he gets fouled, he gets a little rash. Knowing he's got to go down the other end.
3 to go. Tie game.
And the match now. Match up. Play a guy in your area. And this is where Logan can, and Stokes, the way he's playing, but Logan can get between defenders.
They get it in Logan's hands. Stokes, good defense. Oof. Barnes very close to picking one up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Huggins thought it was over in that corner.
Long-range bomb. McElroy quickly into Logan's hands. Here comes Cincinnati trying to claim the lead.
And they got Max Seal. Nice front by Barnes. Good footwork. Next trip, UCLA has to go to the rim or get it in the low post. Don't take the jumper. Screen
McElroy.
down. Screen down. They want Max Seal on the box.
There's Gadzuric, and the help comes from Bozeman. Back it goes to McElroy. 10 on the shot clock in a tie game. Logan, a little floater, not there. Tip, here comes Bozeman, it's 3-on-2. Left side, Thompson rather, got it.
What a pass and what an adjustment by Thompson. A lot of other guys would have charged, moved to the middle with the finish.
Dejon Thompson, UCLA with the lead, 1:45 to go. This is Stokes. Now McElroy. Up and under,
Oh.
yes!
What strength to deliver. Impressive. Emmanuel.
Tied at 78 with 1:19 to go.
And Cincinnati has to buckle down now, force them to either using a lot of clock. At the end of the sequence, you may not come up with something good.
Bozeman. 10 on the shot clock. Barnes, the dish, gets her.
Oh. How about Barnes again? Huh? Nice slip to the goal. Draws the D. A little suckage. And then got Zurich with the knockdown.
Dan Gadzuric, 24 points. Time called. Rico Hines on the bench. A 2-point UCLA lead, 80-78. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Let's take a look here.
And Vern, look at the drop step to the middle, and now the strength to take that hit and still convert. But at the other end, the high pick and roll, Barnes slips, gets the delivery, draws people. The little kiss, my big Dan, a man.
Now Steve Logan, guarded by the freshman Cedric Bozeman. McElroy, Max Seals posting up, Barnes fronting him.
Here's the overload.
Here's Stokes, fall away, tough shot.
What a knockdown. Gadzuric looming in the back as well.
30 points for Leonard Stokes. And the shot clock is off.
And it looks like they're going to set the play up, get the last shot. Steve's got them with this, the high 5 now. Screen and roll or screen and pop for Capono, the way they have it set. Watch Gadzuric on the follow-up. Gadzuric.
Little is watching him. 10 to go. Here's Bozeman. The screen from Capono. Jump rejected by Little.
What a presence. Donald was big in the lane. Now they're going to take it from underneath. Let's see if they don't use the timeout. Good outside shoot. Now they're going to use the timeout.
Time called Cincinnati. First time these two basketball giants have met in 36 years, and they've made it memorable for all of us. 80-80 with 3.8 to go. UCLA with 2 timeouts left. Billy Knight has come back on the floor for the Bruins. He's joined by Gadzurik, Capono. The ball will be inbounded by Bozeman, and Matt Barnes is also there. Knight in the corner.
Watch the lob.
There's Barnes. One jump.
Short.
Short. We're going to overtime. $80-80 at the end of 40. We've got 5 to go.
The corner. Over here's a shooter. Knight's a shooter, Capono. And what they basically are running is this kind of a screen, but it doesn't work. The inbounds passer takes a look. No lob. The step back. And, of course, at the end, good defense. Maxiel right up on him. The shot short.
And before we start the OT, let's check in with Leslie Visser.
Vern, Cincinnati this year is 1-0 in overtime. It was against Memphis in Cincinnati. That was the day he started wearing the suit.
That's right. It worked then for an 80-75 victory. And we are tied at 80. Bob Huggins' team. Billy Knight back on the floor. Dan Gadzurik, what a game he's had, Bill.
He has been solid on both ends, even challenging that jump shot twice removed. And very involved. I think his spirit has lifted this club. And a big thing for Cincinnati, don't let UCLA get runouts, make them run their half-court set, because then they would control it. And conversely, UCLA compete on the glass. If they get the opportunity, fine, run it. But if not, get a touch on the block.
Vern Harris chatting with Bob Huggins here before we began the OT. Gadzurik, we mentioned the kind of contribution he's made today. Solid double-double, 24 points, 12 rebounds. He and Little will jump, and it's controlled by Stokes of Cincinnati. Quickly into the hands of Steve Logan.
And a straight-up match now. Logan down and through. And the difficulty is the offensive rebounding now. You don't identify the guy to check out as readily in this zone matchup.
Maxiel wants it. Gadzurik is there. There comes the help from Billy Knight.
A man in your area. Good drive.
McElroy, how about Gadzurik? That's a hell ball. Possession arrow, UCLA.
Just as you said at the opening tip there in the overtime, Dan Gadzurik has been a presence. He's competed. He's helped his guys, bailed them out defensively. Great move by 5-0.
Here's Billy Knight, left side.
Good cut.
There's Capono, and it hit the net.
Who's there?
The follow is there. Guess who?
Big Dan, the man. A nice look, though, just an errant toss to Capono.
McElroy with Knight defending.
Again, Gadzurik, he gets him this time, Vern. Well, we mentioned Capone's ability to play without the basketball. He ends up right under the rim here. It's just a little high. The net throws him off. But the rundown, a guy that's been in the proper spot consistently during the course of the afternoon. Dan Gadzurik. How about that?
26-12.
Hurries, changes, blocks, you name it.
And Stokes at the line for the first time. One of two. $82-81, 4 to go in OT.
And this is their box set where they swing down. Capono posting up.
Billy Knight. Air ball, Gadzurik, bad hand.
Capono gets fouled. Wow! Impressive. And that's when you move without the ball, a lot of good things happen to you. And Jason Capona being tagged Knight in that corner that he's grown to love, but got Jurek with the fumble. But because Capona had been curling, coming to the rim, looking for a post-up, is the beneficiary of that deuce and a chance for 3.
An 87% free throw shooter, a three-point play this trip.
And they're starting to beat them on the offensive glass, and Cincinnati not doing a good job checking out.
That has been a big difference in this half.
It's really, Billy Knight just banged the floor a la Duke, knowing it's a big stop.
UCLA down by 10 at the half, trailed by as many as 13. They're up by 4.
And Steve Logan deeper on the floor, not getting looks. They better run out on him.
Logan, penetration, dish right. Maxiel. Stokes, long range. No. Capono.
Smart play.
3:20 to go.
Smart play, too. You didn't need to run out. Get it in Bozeman's hands.
Capono wants it. Barnes. A little too strong. Maxiel with a rebound.
What a blow by, though.
Now Logan at the other end. Jumper. In.
How about that acknowledgement? Nice penetration by Logan. And the ability of McElroy to spot up and knock it down.
Now Bozeman for UCLA. A 2-point game with 2:46 remaining. Capono, fall away. Rebound, here comes Logan for Cincinnati.
Got to keep him out of the lane. And here's the turnover because they took away the dribble drive. The pass just a little bit too far to the left.
This is a Cincinnati team that in their first round victory turned it over 3 times.
And they are flawless generally. But the zone now has taken the game out of Logan's hands. And there's exactly what you were alluding to.
2:23 to go. 85-83 Bruins. Capono, catch, rebound, Maxiel.
Didn't get any air on her, but he's getting free, Capona now. McElroy may be a little bit fatigued.
Stokes. Take a foul, pick. He's going to go back to the line.
Take your pick, right? Got Jurek or Barnes.
It's Barnes, and it's a score.
Now, this is the time of game where you need your point people to make good decisions. What shot selection, where you're going to distribute the basketball. Clock, understand what's going on, what situation, what's to be dictated.
1 of 2 just a moment ago. See what Stokes can do here. 1 more for the tie. all.
Got to admire guys that can step up and knock them down in clutch situations.
Stokes with 33. 2 minutes to go in OT. Matt Barnes.
Back screen and pop by Capona.
Here's Gutzurik. They kick it outside. Barnes.
Tough look.
Bounce pass. Capono.
Catch and shoot. How about Barnes? The correct pass, the bounce pass. An old-time bounce pass.
15 second half points for Capono. He's got 17 in all. 90 seconds to go. McElroy, what an adjustment.
Oh, my. How does he stay up and levitate? Incredible upper body.
1 point UCLA lead. 1:15 remaining.
And he's not really guarding as well as he did earlier. Capona's really done a great job shaking him.
Here's Barnes off the dribble. Rejected by Little, who was huge.
Great response defensively. And a good screen by Capona to get him to the rim.
It's McElroy again. Passes on the shot. Here's the All-American from the corner and the lead.
Oh. What can you say about Logan? A little onions in the corner by Stokes.
50 to go. Stokes with 36. Bozeman, the freshman. Wow. Over the All-American.
The size won out. The little kiss at the end. How about that? They played the high pick and roll for the youngster.
Right side to Stokes. There's a 3-second difference, shot clock, game clock.
Key is don't let them turn the corner and give it to Logan to be creative.
Now it's in Logan's hands. 10 on the shot clock, 13 in the game. Logan jump stop, McElroy. Not there, the tip no good. Can't control the rebound in the corner.
No shot.
Capuano!
We got two, Vern. Well, Bobby was wanting a foul on the penetration.
How do you like double overtime on St. Patty's Day?
I like it.
A UCLA team down by 10. A UCLA team down by 10 at the half. You really must admire their resiliency.
I mean, they've done a wonderful job. I mean, the shooters are taking better shots. They're getting some inside play. I just think Dan Gadzuric has set the tone that this is serious, fellas. Get on my back. I'm going to carry you. And he's done a great job on both ends of the floor.
And let's check in with Leslie Visser right now.
Vern, UCLA's last double overtime in the NCAA was in the Bill Walton years in '74. They lost to North Carolina State by 3. That was, of course, when they had David Thompson. The last one for Cincinnati was in '93.
So not a lot of experience at this length of game, Les. And a sense of urgency really prevails throughout this building now. 90-90. Double OT.
It's as good as it gets. And right now, the shot of Bozeman and the other counter point guard, Steve Logan, it's in their hands. Who gets it, when they give it, or if they take it themselves.
Let's set the 5 on the floor for UCLA. It's Billy Knight, Dan Gadzuric, Bozeman, Matt Barnes, and Capuano. And for Cincinnati, Don Little, McElroy, Stokes, Max Seal, and Steve Logan. Jason Capuano puts it in the hands of the freshman Cedric Bozeman.
And they get out on him late. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, how about McElroy?
Get a parachute. Did he close out? And look at this movement by Capuano in the double screen.
Goes by McElroy. Later got it.
I'll tell you what, McElroy is fatigued. You don't get free on a manual. And right now, Capuano just keeping the puppies moving in a great double screen.
7 minutes of play in the first half for Jason Capuano. 2 points. Here's Logan. Long rebound in the hands of Matt Barnes. Capuano now with 19 points in the game.
And think of it, struggled first half, 1 field goal, 2 fouls, sat, ready to go, and still extremely active with McElroy chasing.
Now Max Seal out on Matt Barnes. Logan follows Bozeman. Barnes tries to get the screen from Capuano. We near the 4-minute mark in the second overtime. And 10 on the shot clock. Here's Bozeman. Dishes right side for Barnes. No. The putback. Oh my goodness.
How about that for touch? And they left it go. Bozeman scored a goal. That size is tough to handle.
Mississippi State with a first-round win over McNeese State, 70 to. And we are underway.
Haven't been able to get a touch inside. Stokes deep.
Again, it's not there. Elevation from Matt Barnes.
And they haven't found Little or Maxiel flashing. Run your stuff. Don't be in a hurry unless a real good one shows. But stay in rhythm. Capuano without the ball, key.
And he wants it now. Goes to his right. Oh, no foul call.
Wow, I thought he got nicked.
Here's Logan. Quickly. Stokes.
Oh, my goodness, a great call, too. Gadzuric never got there, never got planted, and that's just, I think, fatigue. They didn't respond to get down the floor. And here you'll see Dan Gadzuric never got that foot down as the guy elevated. The finish and a chance for 3. Taking their best shots either way, Vern.
And that's going to send Stokes back to the line. He is 9 of 11 for the day, a career high of 38 points. Might become 39 with this free throw. 3:04 to go, second overtime. 94-93, UCLA.
Lundquist. Jason Capona is very fresh and, of course, able to get himself free, but the help of the double screen. And Emmanuel McElroy just somewhat fatigued because he's been chasing them all half. Look at the squeeze. They turn it down. Now watch the heady play. Gets the guy from behind. You stick the derriere back towards him and you lean forward and you convert with that kind of talent. Great footwork to set his guy up. And look at the numbers, 17.
And he's also, Bill, played with 4 fouls for much of this half. Here's Bozeman.
And using down below. Capona using Zurich.
Now Logan on Bozeman. 2:45 to go, second overtime. They look into Gadzurek, who's being fronted by Little. 10 on the shot clock. There's the screen from Barnes.
Size.
And the follow.
He's hurt. Bozeman's hurt. As he came down, oh my God. Just a funny, right there when he reached back, actually operation early in the year.
On now for Bozeman.
Now they're going to have to run some different things with Ryan Walcott on the floor. Get everybody else involved. Still the matchup.
1-point game, Stokes. 39 for the day. In the corner, McElroy not there.
Look at that follow. Ooh.
And Capono does manage to get the rebound for UCLA.
Good hustle by McElroy.
Now Ryan Walcott, 94-93, under 2 to go. Winner goes to San Jose in the Sweet 16. Barnes. 15 on the shot clock.
Now don't get down too far now. Get in your rhythm. Down to 10. See, I don't think this is the play they should run for Walcott. Good. Give it up.
3-2. They might not get a shot. That's a prayer. And it's unanswered.
Hustle.
Billy Knight!
Zurich took 2 guys with him on the inside. Billy Knight seizing the opportunity, but not a good trip for UCLA. Very fortunate to be able to convert that late in the shot clock, coming up with a tough J. And just here you can see Zurich gets everybody tangled up with him, and Billy Knight able to seize that opportunity. Oh, the joy.
A 4-point lead. 1:27 remaining, second OT. 87 seconds remaining in the second OT. 87 seconds remaining in the second OT. 10 fouls to 9, and the possession arrow featuring Cincinnati. Melody Adamson, hoping her son can find a solution to this matchup zone. He's had problems 5 of 17.
And that's what the zone has done, is taken him a little bit out of his game. Others are going to have to beat UCLA, and he's just able to pinch, distribute, and not getting the opportunities and clear outs.
Back to Logan's hands.
He can
Field Williams, not there. Rebound, Zurich.
Big time snatch.
13 rebounds for the 6'11 senior.
And Walcott real solid. He had Barnes on a run out, but didn't give it up.
Under a minute. And UCLA uses a timeout. 97-93 for the 8th seed from Westwood. 97-93 UCLA leading Cincinnati. Winner of this one gets 12th-seeded Missouri Thursday in San Jose. Who will it be? Cap and Mary Lavin. Steve Lavin's mom and dad, they will celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary in July. Steve Lavin, the youngest of 6. And they're going to take mom and dad for a vacation in Cancun, he says. They'd have a heck of a reason to celebrate if these guys can win this game.
Right now, it's just a straight up. They're going to go one trip without fouling here. Maybe a dribble drive at the end.
Thompson, jumper.
Wow.
Yes!
Oh! Big time delivery. And they almost caused a turnover here.
Air ball. 30 seconds to go. Capono, Ryan Walcott.
And the giveaway. Cancun can wait. Well, a guy that's been overanalyzed, condemned, vilified, and yet when it comes to crunch time, Steve Lavin and his UCLA Bruins, and nobody happier than Rico there on the sideline with his damaged knee. They are ready to play at this time of the year. He's got an amazing facility to arise. Lazarus Lavin.
Barnes with 16. +1. Well, this is the 6th season for Steve Lavin. In each of those 6, his team has won 20 or more. They've yet to be defeated in the second round, and they're 26 seconds away from advancing to the Sweet 16 again.
And the one thing he did tonight was he didn't stick with a defense if they took advantage. He was willing to change the look. The zone, which had been so successful late in the year, actually got total control, particularly of Steve Logan.
That one's off the rim. Little for Cincinnati. 15 seconds to go.
Too little, too late. We'll see when we come back.
Second overtime, 15.3 seconds remaining. UCLA up by 5, and Steve Lavin has put Dan Gadzuric on the bench because of the liability at the free throw line.
Absolutely. Very attuned to his difficulty in that category. If you're Cincinnati, a good, quick try at a steal, and then you're going to have to give it up.
And there is the foul. Jamal Davis with the foul is going to put Dijon Thompson at the line. And he's not a proficient free throw shooter either. Just over 50% for the season in limited appearances. And at the free throw line, Dijon Thompson.
And what an afternoon in store. We got a little look ahead to as well with Cal, another Pac-10 powerhouse playing Pitt of the Big East. And it looks like Bozeman is okay. I mean, you know what? When you fall on anything that's damaged, the first thing is in your mind, I hope it isn't my earlier difficulty.
Thompson with one more.
And Bozeman had a lot to do with this turnaround. I mean, maybe finding his game will bring him into next season with a fresh outlook. Of course, a long way to go before this one's over. But confidence, so important as a point player.
Smooth as can be, 2 at the line. UCLA for the day is 12 of 14 shooting free throws. And here's the inbound. 13 seconds to go. McElroy. Field Williams. Yes!
Wow, he can drill him. That's one thing he's capable of. You don't want to foul, but you got to be close enough. If you know a guy can shoot, it's never over to a talented team like Cincinnati.
Last time out called by Cincinnati, 102-98. They trail by 4. Both teams in the double bonus. And if they lose, it continues a trend that's been established in the 90s. They have had difficulty getting out of the second round since 1997. And time has been taken by UCLA. They'll stop the clock with 8.2 to go. Bruins, the 8th seed, trail by as many as 13 in the game. They were down by 10, 47-37 at the half. Capono and Barnes led them back with Gadzuric's considerable help. And Steve Logan, the All-American, has been held in check through much of the afternoon. Now the inbound play, they get it in the hands of Billy Knight, and he will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, smart play. Goes Billy, 82% free throw shooter.
And 7 seconds to go in the game. Cincinnati out of timeouts. Billy Knight, 3 of 3 at the line in today's game.
He and Capone have that ability to stretch you so far. It's amazing the inside game isn't more advanced, but they did a great job in the second half to get it going.
One more. There are the Knights.
Free throws destroy a family. They just can't cope with it. I mean, the anguish. And the stop action throws them off.
Well, the Bruins from Westwood, Los Angeles, just down the coast, about to pull a Dionne Warwick. They will know the way to San Jose.
They sure will. Very good. Oh, it's a little before my time.
Showing my age again. 102-98. Here's Knight. And the ball inbounded. Steve Logan. 4 seconds remaining. launches a three and cans it. But the Bearcats cannot stop the clock. The ball is inbounded with 0.8 seconds to go.
And Matt Barnes was tempted to throw it to the other end of Capona, and he thought better of it, you know. No sense giving it up and giving them a chance. And Steve Logan, another, I think, fatigued player. We mentioned earlier Emmanuel McElroy having to run and guard a quick-footed guy who understands how to get free, Jason Capona.
And the freshman Walcott is at the line.
Jason giving some last-minute strategy here.
One more.
I think he's almost telling him to miss this one so the clock runs out.
Right.
Jason, I got to get my point total up, though. You know, you get plenty of shots. I don't get a chance to jack many up. No, that is his way.
Got them both. 4-point margin. Double overtime victory. UCLA 105. Cincinnati 101. And the Bruins go to San Jose to take on a Missouri team they last met in the NCAAs in 1995 when they went through Missouri in the second round en route to an NCAA championship. The Bruins and the Tigers Thursday from the West Coast. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game: Dan Gadzuric, 26 and 13 for UCLA, and Leonard Stokes, a career high of 39 points, complemented by 10 rebounds. Bruins, an 8 seed, knock off a #1.
Okay, great effort. I mean, they hung in, didn't have their game in the first half, Vern, but second half, a lot of organization on the defensive end. And as noted, Dan Gadzuric just epitomizing what college basketball is all about, giving everything.
And let's go back to our New York studios and hear from Greg Gumbel.
All right, Vern, thank you. So the UCLA Bruins knock off top seed Cincinnati 105-101 in double overtime. Other games in progress in the Midwest, in Dallas, Texas with a 28-7 lead on Mississippi State. In Chicago, Illinois, a 19-9.
Final second, Matt Barnes, 4-3. No, not even close. We're going overtime. Then 10 seconds left in the first OT, tied up. The drive, no. Emmanuel McElroy, that won't go. The tip won't go. Then coming back, loose ball. Jason Capona will pick this up and let it fly. No, sir. Double overtime in double OT. It's a 1-point game. Matt Barnes, oh no, won't go. Billy Knight slides in, and the foul. And UCLA already with a win over another 1 seed, Kansas, that in the regular season, knocks off the top seed in the West. Steve Logan said he had 2 guys on him the whole game, didn't want to force shots. He was just 6 for 18 from the floor. Looking ahead, UCLA's Rico Hines has a strained left knee. He'll need an MRI. Looking back is Bob Huggins.
Now that's as talented an 8 seed as probably in the history of the NCAA tournament, and you know, they got us today. We had our chances. We missed a shot at the end of regulation and miss a tip in, and we just we didn't finish it off.
It was a total team effort. There's so many players individually that played well, but it was kind of a collective effort that really allowed us to move on this NCAA tournament. Really proud of these kids sitting next to me on my left.
UCLA advance.
That's a prayer, and it's unanswered. Billy Knight!
There you go. On crutches. Coming back to LA, baby. We're coming back to LA.
From CBS 2, this is Sports Central Sunday. Presented by the Toyota dealers of Southern California.
Hello again, basketball fans. I'm Jim Hill. Welcome to this special March Madness edition of Sports Central Sunday. We're here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the second game of the UCLA Bruins. Steve, Brett, and the Guru, Sonny Vaccaro, will be along a little bit later. But what do you say? Let's get started and talk about the exciting game that was played earlier today right here on CBS 2. Well, not since January has the UCLA Bruins won 2 straight games in a 3-day period. You know what, though? It really seems like Steve Lavin and his Bruins the March Madness brings the best out of them. On Friday, remember, they knocked off Ole Miss. And this afternoon here in Pittsburgh, they stunned the region's top seed and the Cincinnati Bearcats, and it was really a great game. The Bruins didn't get off on the right foot, though. Rico Hines injured his left knee in the first half, and he's finished for the day. Cincinnati owns the boards. They grabbed 16 offensive rebounds in the first half. Jason Maxwell with the slam. The Bruins trail by 10 points at halftime. But in the second half, UCLA answers back. T.J. Cummins with the block at one end, and Ryan Walcott goes coast to coast for the layup. The Bruins start chipping away at Cincinnati's lead. Then it's more good UCLA defense. Another steal, and Matt Barnes feeds Dan Gadzuric for the monster jam, and the Bruins are now down by only 3. Jason Capono, who scored only 2 points in the first half, catches fire after the break. He nails a 3-point jumper, and we're tied at 71. Then it's Capono again. This time he follows his own miss and draws the foul. UCLA takes the lead at 74-73.
Well, you know first when you...
But Cincinnati comes right back. Leonard Stokes hits the fall-away jumper. The game is tied with 34 seconds left on the clock. The Bruins have a chance to win it in regulation, but Barnes misses the long-range jumper. We're headed into overtime now, tied at 80. In the first extra period, it's more Capono. He grabs a rebound, scores, and draws another foul. UCLA now leads by 4. But in this nip-and-tuck game, back comes Cincinnati. Stokes dials long distance, putting the Bearcats up by 2 with less than 52 seconds to play.
What can you say about Logan?
However, freshman Cedric Bozeman comes up with a clutch play. His bank shot ties the game at 90, and that sends it into a second overtime. Then, in the second extra period, Billy Knight really shines.
Give it up. 3-2. They might not get a shot. That's a prayer. And it's unanswered. Billy Knight!
Knight not only gets the rebound basket, but he also draws the foul. UCLA stuns Cincinnati 105-101 in double overtime. A sweet win for Steve Lavin's team indeed. So UCLA advances to the Sweet 16 for the 5th time in 6 years, all under head coach Steve Lavin. Dan Gadzuric finished with a career-high 26 points to go along with 13 rebounds. Capono scored 17 of his 19 points in the second half and overtimes. Leonard Stokes was a high-point man for Cincinnati, ending up with 39 points. This is what March Madness is all about, isn't it?
Definitely, you know. We've had a very rough season, you know, and we just show, you know, flashes of greatness every once in a while. You know, tonight we came out and played as a team and we got it done.
This has to be the biggest win in your career at UCLA.
Yes, it is, just because coming in, you know what I mean, like, I don't think, like, anyone thought that we had a chance to win, and, you know, like, we fought back from, I think, 12 down, so, you know, like, that just shows, like, the grit of our team, you know, like, we've been questioning, you know, like that, you know, like, guys have said that, like, we aren't, you know, that we are, you know, like, a gutless, heartless team, but like I think we proved them wrong today.
It seemed like you were a man possessed today. You would not be denied.
No, not at all. I mean, you know, I learned in the past that I can't let my head down. I just got to keep on rolling like a train and just keep on shooting or pass out the ball when I'm double teamed, triple teamed. I just got to play real smart, and you know, I'm learning a lot more about the game, and it's just coming to me. I see the floor a lot better, and it just feels a lot better.
Wow. Wow is the word. I mean, we beat the #1 seed in our region. And I mean, we kind of expect that out of ourselves, to beat the best. And that's why you go to UCLA, to beat the best.
Double overtime in March Madness. That's what it's really all about.
Oh, yeah, I know every teammates, a lot of team players are watching this game, guys in the hotels getting ready to play are watching this game. And that's what college basketball is about, just playing your heart out.
Do you know your way to San Jose, like that song says?
Oh, yeah, I know our way to San Jose, and it's Matt's home, and hopefully we get some support and come out and support the Bruins.
So looking ahead, it is indeed a wild, wild west. The Bruins are headed to San Jose for the round of Sweet 16, where they will take on the 12th-seeded Missouri Tigers. All hail to the guru, Sonny Vaccaro, who's been telling us all tournament long that UCLA has a great chance to advance and go deep into March Madness. And Sonny, as you've been talking about all year long, the Bruins will go as far as Dan Gadzuric will take him, and this was by far his best game this year.
Absolutely, Jimmy. He did what we've been waiting for him to do for a long time. In the course of the 4 years, Danny's had this game over here, over there, another place, another time, but today is the right place and the right time. He's doing it in the regional finals, go to the regional finals, and he did it against the #1 seed, as the young man said. My point here is, now the opening is there. Dan Gazurek has a chance to also make money, Mr. Hartman over here, because he's doing it in front of the world, all the NBA people, which is good. He's a senior. He paid his dues, and I personally hope he does do it. But more than that, more than Danny getting drafted high, I want this team to continue going on further, and I think they do. This bracket is perfect for them. They're meeting another underachieving team in Missouri, and they can win that.
Where have these guys been all year, huh?
Making you crazy.
This from the opening bell about UCLA. Another guy, Jim, that we talked about last night was Jason Capono, who was a no-show in their big win against Mississippi, and he was a no-show again in the first half today when he got into foul trouble, only played 7 minutes. But in the second half, Capono played out of his mind. From about the 10-minute point of the second half all the way through the second overtime, Jason Capono came up with all the big plays, rebounds, hustle plays, and a lot of people have been saying about Capono that he doesn't necessarily come up with those kind of plays, that he's a guy that's a spot-up shooter, he's a good offensive player, but he doesn't always play at the defensive end, but he has certainly done that today, and it's a tremendous victory for UCLA, but we'll get more into it, I'll tell you what, Jim, because there's a long way for this UCLA team to go before I think they truly live up to the standards I think this team should have set for itself before the season began.
Steve?
Yes?
Will you really pay attention to what the guru says from now on? He's been telling you all postseason
I'm going
long.
to say this, Jim. I said it earlier. Anything less than the Final Four for this team, to me, is a disappointment. But they're still alive.
Well, the guru won't say it, but I will. He told you so, and he will continue to tell you so. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Meanwhile, as far as other March Madness action continues, top seed Cincinnati by 1 point with the shot clock winding down, and Matt Barnes misses a three. But Dan Gadzuric tips in the rebound, but Billy Knight is right there. He goes right back up with it, and the lay-in, and he gets the foul. Now, we have to take another look at this. Barnes just gets the shot off in time, and while the Bruins didn't get a three-pointer, Knight gets a three-point the old-fashioned way, and with a 4-point lead, the Bruins never look back. They go on to defeat Cincinnati this afternoon by a score of 105-101. Meanwhile, in UCLA's first-round victory here against Ole Miss on Friday night, Billy Knight led everyone with 21 points, but the team's leading scorer, Jason Capono, only scored 2 in that particular ball game. But Jason made his presence felt this afternoon, that is for sure, scoring 17 of his 19 points after halftime.
What did we discuss yesterday about this game today?
Well, Jim, you said just to come out and just shoot the ball, you know what I mean? Like, just stay poised, you know what I mean? Like, not let these guys bother you, but, you know, like, just came out, you know, and just stay poised and smart. And even though I came out during the first half and had a tough one, a struggle one, you know, like, I was in foul trouble and I sat a lot, you know, coach said, you know what I mean, like, just to come out and just play hard and, you know, like, just keep shooting the ball. And so, you know, like, that's what I did.
In crunch time, you came through.
Yeah, I did, finally. Like, I've been struggling, like, these past 4 or 5 games. I think, like, I was coming in, you know, like, really haven't been shooting the ball well, you know, like, really haven't had, like, a very nice groove. But, you know what I mean, like, I just hung with it. And, you know, like, I came through, like, the last, whatever, 25 or 30 minutes we had there.
He has that shooter's mentality, just keep putting it up, and sooner or later it will go in, and that's what it did this afternoon for Jason Capono. In other action, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where UCLA is still dancing and jumping up and down after their upset victory over Cincinnati this afternoon as they head into the round of Sweet 16. However, but today's victory could be very costly for head coach Steve Lavin and his Bruins. Senior and co-captain Rico Hines, who's the emotional lead of the Bruins, left the game in the first half with a left knee injury, and the talented freshman guard in Cedric Bozeman had to leave in the second overtime when he fell after diving on going to the hoop. Immediately after the game, head coach Steve Lavin shared what information he could about the injuries to both Hines and Bozeman.
Rico, I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to the trainer and the doctors because I haven't gotten. I just know it looks like he's really banged up. I don't think it'll be very likely he's going to be back, but again, I haven't had that confirmed by our sports medicine team. Cedric, I think his was an ankle or a knee or something as well.
You know, and Sonny, after the game, I talked to both players, and Rico was really down because he knows he probably will not play next week. But Cedric said he's going to get back out there and play. As a matter of fact, he talks about being able to play and be able to practice when they get back tomorrow.
Well, if he thinks that, Jim, then his injury must not be as serious as what it could have been. You know, I really am impressed with Bozeman more today than probably all year, because all the pimples that the kids showed this year and all the things we sit here and criticize about, he protected the ball well. He played a lot of minutes and had many of the turnovers, and that's what he's got to do, because there is scoring all over the court on this UCLA team. If Bozeman can do what he's done, what he did today, as we follow this tournament through, then UCLA is going to continue to win and win. Don't worry about him making a shot or missing a shot. Worry about him not having turnovers. Turnovers will get you to the Final Four if you can eliminate them, and that's how I feel about it. Hopefully this young kid's all right.
Yeah, I hope so as well, because he really played well today. In fact, the 2 point guards, the 2 freshmen, 61 minutes, no turnovers for UCLA. Now, as far as Rico is concerned, you know, I've jokingly called him ML Hines over the years because he is a great cheerleader for this team. He's not the most talented player around, Jim, but he is an emotional leader for this team. And I refer to ML Carr, the towel waving days with the Boston Celtics, and how he didn't do anything but wave that towel. Obviously, you shouldn't see for a fifth-year senior like Rico Hines. He'd be very, very disappointed not to get back out on the court. But I can guarantee you this, even if he is on the bench, he will serve his best role for that team, and that is as a senior, fifth-year senior leader, and a guy that's going to make those guys focus out on the court. So obviously a loss of Bozeman would have been worse for this team. Hines will be missed, but he'll still be on the bench, still an emotional leader, Jim.
Yeah, you're right, Stephen. At one point late in the game, just before the Bruins tied it to send it into the first overtime, you know, Rico came over on crutches and started yelling and screaming at everybody in the huddle, and their eyes kind of lit up because they saw that their, as you mentioned, emotional leader was back at least trying to help them in that particular fashion. Now, as far as other basketball...
Finds it for UCLA. Comes back down again. You find it. Here he goes. Logan on a drive again. Down a little. Makes it happen inside.
Get the idea. The Bearcats are dominating. Now to the prime time players. Logan Kuza, Player of the Year crossover on the freshman Cedric Bozeman. Gets the floater to go off the glass. Logan up court. Knocks down the jumper. Logan, though, not a monster day. Enough, but did a decent job containing him down the stretch. Dijon Thompson deflects the pass. The freshman pushes. Matt Barnes to Dan Gadzurek. The big guy runs the floor well. Bruins rallying. Down 3 against Huggy Bear. And then Bozeman ahead. Jason Capono. He would show up big time in the second half after a slow start. Bruins back within 2. Capono again misses the floater, but watch him foul the shot to the corner. Good hustle. Beats the Bearcats with his quickness and a foul. UCLA up 1. Final minute. Bearcats down 2. Stokes hits a big shot. He did come up big. The fadeaway goes, ties the game at 80. Final 10 seconds. Bozeman, the freshman. And the big rejection out of bounds by Donald Little. Bruins retains possession. 3.4 to go. They get it to Barnes. The three-pointer, the fadeaway, tough shot, way short. We go to overtime. In OT, tied at 85. Barnes, Capono, stepping up in crunch time. Knocks down the shot again. He only had 2 in the first half, but he would come on strong. They swing it. Logan Stokes, his triple, puts Cincy up 2 in the final minute of overtime. Bozeman drives. And the freshman over Logan ties the game at 90. Final 10 seconds of OT. Logan to Emmanuel McElroy. The 3 won't go. Little the putback. Loose ball to Capono. He'll heave the prayer with a second to go. We go to double overtime in the second OT. Bruins up a point. Barnes left alone, misses the 3. Billy Knight slides in. The Bruins' quickness got the rebound.
Well, Billy Knight was certainly a big offensive rebound. Gadzurek was a monster on the interior.
And Dijon Thompson, one of the unheralded Bruins, knocking Huggy Bear out in round 2. 105-101. It was a double overtime game, but it's also the first time since '98 the Bearcats give up 100 points. Logan, 6 of 18. Stokes had a career-high 39, but the Bruins only 9 turnovers to go with 21 assists. Playing well at the right time.
We usually get hot around tournament time, you know, so it just shows, you know, we play 40 minutes, you know, like earlier, we beat the #1 team in the country a while back. So, you know, any given night when we come to play for 40 minutes or 50 minutes, however many minutes we play tonight, that we can beat anyone in the country.
So you can see that UCLA will march on. They will take on Missouri. It's a bit of a sneak preview to that highlight. In the Sweet 16, combined seeding is 20. That's not the biggest long shot Sweet 16 game, but notice UCLA and Missouri. Those are not teams like Cleveland State and Valpo and Chattanooga, which gives you an idea of the committee's seeding in that West region and the strength in that region.
Well, you know, Chris talked about it this morning about the fact of what a dangerous team UCLA has, a #8 seed with all those athletes. And I thought what was big for them today for Steve Lavin, Cedric Bozeman, the diaper dandy, came in with a big-time reputation, had a lot of injuries during the course of the year. But in this game, 39 minutes and didn't have a turnover and had 8 big points. But it was Capono and Gatzorg, the veterans, that really stepped up. And think about this, Digger. 5 times now, Steve Lavin, Sweet 16. But unfortunately, at UCLA, they don't hang banners that say Sweet 16. They want the whole enchilada, baby. They want the national title.
But you're right about Capono. You look at Jason Capono, what really happened, he's in foul trouble in the first half, comes in with 16 minutes, gets his 3rd foul, and with 12 minutes to go in the game, he gets his 4th foul. Now he comes back in and gets it going. But the guy that really stepped up when I look at what really happens with UCLA, you talk about a point guard. No, he's just a big, solid guard. His name is Matt Barnes. 17 points, but with the 11 assists, he was the quarterback that spurred the Bruins on to the double overtime win when it counted.
He was, but Cedric Bozeman also played well. And on St. Patrick's Day, we talk about green guards, and they've come up.
Hey, maybe the Irish should have played Duke today.
Couldn't hurt. The other game in that West is Xavier. On Roland Roberts, kick something. Kick something. Well, he's unhappy about the call, but you got to call that, though. You can't tackle a guy.
Right. Central Sunday, we're live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We all know he's come under a lot of heavy criticism this year, but Bruin head coach Steve Lavin knows when it comes to tournament time, his record really improves, like to 11-5. Well, after today's big victory over Cincinnati, I talked with the head coach.
How do you describe something like that?
Well, you're just so proud for your kids. They've worked hard. Los Angeles is a tough town. It's kind of an unforgiving culture in terms of failing or not having the level of success that's expected. And so for our kids to keep a good attitude, keep working, and now see the benefits of that hard work and the breakthroughs to be able to go to the Sweet 16 and now have a chance to keep the national championship goal alive is really special for our kids.
There was one point in the first half where they really could have blown you away.
Yeah, our kids are so resilient. As you know, during my tenure, the most important characteristic that I think team sports and athletics really teaches is resiliency, how you pick yourself up after you fall down face first. And that's what I was taught when I was a young kid from my parents and all the coaches and teachers I learned from. It's all about being resilient, bouncing back and learning from your setbacks in life. And our kids have done it once again this year. I'm really proud of them.
This is the 5th time in 6 years you've been in the round of Sweet 16. There's only one other coach that can say that, Coach K and now Coach L.
Well, I've been fortunate to have great kids, and during our tenure, our kids tend to improve individually and collectively, whether you look at Earl Watson now in the NBA, or a Billy Knight, or a Matt Barnes, or a Gutzerik. These kids just keep getting better. Even our freshmen, when you look at them early in the season to now, the way they're playing in the NCAA tournament, Ryan Walcott, Cedric, Andre, TJ in the sophomore class, all our kids tend to get better. That's kind of a staple of our program, is individual and collective improvement as the years go along.
You've done so many great things this year. Some people are saying, you know, maybe he works up at the Magic Castle because he's able to really pull a Houdini act with everything that's happened this year.
Actually, I've just been fortunate to have great mentors, and I've learned from some of the top minds in the history of basketball, the Pete Newells, the John Woodens, the Gene Cadys, the Bobby Knights, the Mike Krzyzewskis, with Jim Herrick for 5 years at UCLA as an assistant. So I had pretty good apprenticeship years, and I'm just applying those principles, and then we're fortunate to have a great school to be able to attract top players. Now our kids are playing, and as a result, you're going to have success. We're like anybody else. If you play well for 40, you advance. If you don't, it's an early spring.
And right now, I'm sure head coach Steve Lavin and the Bruins are having a very nice and pleasant charter plane ride back to Los Angeles. Well, after knocking off Cincinnati earlier, we'll take on the Missouri Tigers. And I think we all remember the last time these two teams met in the Big Dance.
For the Bruins of UCLA to get into the Sweet 16, knocked out last year in the first round by Tulsa. They don't want to lose this one. Edney going the distance. Yes!
And it's really kind of amazing. I remember being there watching UCLA with that exciting victory. And you know, Sonny, when we think about UCLA taking on Missouri this particular week, the upcoming week on Thursday, I can't help but think about, you know, Kareem Rush and why he didn't come to UCLA, but he's with Missouri and doing quite well.
Well, he didn't come because his brother had a rough time here and didn't leave under the best of circumstances, and things didn't pan out. So he stayed in Missouri, and he really stayed there because Quinn Snyder was the coach. Quinn is an affable guy coming from Duke, playing on championship teams. He had all that going for him. Plus, he stayed home and was able to lead, the state university back to prominence. He's very, very good, and sometimes he's not very good, Jim. And that's where the Bruins have a chance. Rush has had some bad games. He's had some good games. But it's a very quick Missouri team. This is going to be a very talented, 10 guys on the court at all times. I really think the Bruins are better, and they have no answer for Mr. Gazurik either. So here we go. Maybe we're down to the final 8, Steve. What are you going to do then? What are you going to say?
What am I going to say? Yeah. I'm exhausted after hearing Lavin talk to Jim. I don't know how Jim can keep a straight face to that entire conversation. But, I mean, that's Lavin, Mr. Cliche. But I will say this. He's an amazingly resilient guy, Jim Hill. And by the way, I didn't